Hello students, welcome you back to the science class. I hope you all are doing good. So dear children, as you all know that these days we are doing the revision works, okay? So today also as the part of that revision work, we shall be discussing the chapter Getting to Know Plants. Today date is 25th of September 2020. So before we get into the discussion, let's look the learning outcome which we will get at the end of this chapter. So students would able to understand about the different concepts of the chapter. Revision notes on getting to know plants. Introduction. As we all know, Earth is only planet in our solar system that has the viable conditions for life to exist. While the presence of water and oxygen is the main reason, we must also recognize that life would not have been possible if it weren't for the oxygen emitting plants. So you can see by this paragraph only, children, how important plants are. Okay, what is the importance of the plants. So it says that Earth is only the planet, okay, in our solar system where we find the viable conditions for life to exist. Means for life to exist we require both water and oxygen. Okay, so these two conditions are present on the Earth. But along with that, the role of no, we cannot ignore the role of the plants. Okay, the plants plays a vital role. Okay, it plays a vital role, that is it releases oxygen, which is very much necessary for the life to exist on the Earth. And these plants are not only our source of oxygen but also the major source of the food that we eat. So children, one more thing herein I just want to say that if you go out and if you look around, you will find different types of life forms, isn't it? You find great variation in the plants as well. You must have seen the small plants, you must have seen some larger plants, some bigger plant. Yes, some of the plants you must have seen, maybe sometimes it is creeping, sometimes it is climbing. So depending on these natures, depending on the different criteria, the plants are classified into three different categories. So we can classify the plants on the basis of the thickness of their stems. Means children, if you know, you must have seen that different plants they bear stems of different type. Means in some of the plants you must have seen the stems to be very tender and soft. Somewhere you must have seen it is very tough and hard, isn't it? So that is one of the criteria of classifying the plant. That means on the basis of thickness of their stems. Alright, somewhere you find, somewhere you might have seen the stem to be very thin, somewhere you might have seen it is broad. Okay, somewhere you might have seen it is broad, somewhere it is very thin, somewhere it is very thick. Okay, so and then second criteria is the place of origin of their branches. So you must have seen the plants, they bear branches. Okay, but the branches also you know, you may find the branches to be at different location. Sometimes in some of the plants the branching would be at the very high, at the top part of the plant. Somewhere you must have seen it will be just above the lower part of the plant. So that is also one of the criteria for classifying the plants. So depending on these two criteria, basically thickness of their stems and the place of origin of their branches, the plants are categorized into three categories. Those are herbs, shrubs and trees. So we shall be discussing all these three in details. Now let's start with herbs. So children, these are plants that have green and frail stems. Usually these are small plants with not many branches. So here you can see these are the example of the herbs. Okay, sage, then basil, mustard. Okay, these are all the examples of the herbs. Some common examples of herbs are basil, coriander, mint, oregano, thyme, parsley, rosemary, etc. And herbs are nothing but the small plants with tender stems. Fine. So next category is shrubs. So what are these shrubs now? So if you can see the picture at the side, you can see there is a rose plant. There is the bougainvillea plant is there. So shrubs are plants with hard but not exactly thick stems. Okay. Means these plants, they bear hard stems but the stems are not very thick. Say for example in the rose plant, if you touch the stem, you will find it you'll find it hard. Okay, hard but not exactly thick stem, not very thick. Okay, their branches generally originates from the base of their stems. So please remember, the branching occurs from the base of from the base of their stems. These are much taller than herbs but usually shorter than trees. So some examples of shrubs are aloe vera, rose plant, jasmine plant, blackberry plant, etc. You must have seen the shrubs, isn't it? Now the third category of the plants are trees. So these are plants which are very tall and have very tall, and they have a thick and hard stem. The branches originates from the upper part of the tree and are very high above the ground. Please remember, this point is very much necessary. It says that the branch originates from the upper part of the tree and are very high above the ground. This is the most important line in order to define these trees. Fine. So some examples of trees are neem, peepal, coconut tree, mango tree, etc. So here you can see these are the examples of trees: neem tree, mango tree, coconut tree. Okay. Students, there are some different kinds of plants are also present. Okay, so those are creepers and climbers. Now what are creepers? So these are creepers. The creepers are the plants which have soft, weak and green stems. So please remember, they have soft, weak and green stems, and hence they cannot stand straight and instead spread on the ground. That means there are some plants, those who are having weak and green stems, soft, weak and green stem, which cannot stand upright, That is the reason they used to spread on the ground. So those plants are called creepers. So we have some examples like sweet potato, watermelon and pumpkin. So here you can see pumpkin, watermelon and okay, this pumpkin and watermelon, you must have seen, they used to creep on the ground. So those are said as creepers. So now the next category is climbers. Okay, the climbers. So these are also plants with soft and weak stems, but instead of spreading on the ground, they take support with a nearby object to climb up. So children, as the name suggests, climbers means the plants those who climb. So they have also weak stems, but instead of spreading on the ground, they take support with the nearby objects to climb up. So hence they are called as climbers. Some common examples of creepers are cucumber, bean, grapevine, money plant. So here these are very common. Money plant you must have seen, no? It's a very good example of a climber. Then grapevine you have seen. The pea plant also you have seen. These are nothing but the examples of climbers. This is a drawing of the stem. Here you can see the stem bears the different parts. Okay. So basically you need to understand about the node and internode. Okay, and here you can see this particular place from where the leaves used to originate. This is called node, and the region between these two are called internodes. So here you can see terminal bud scale, axillary bud, leaf scale, then 1 year old side branch formed from the axillary bud near shoot apex. So no, these are the this is the drawing of this stem, but you must understand that stem bears these flowers, fruits and leaves. Along with that, the stem consists of nodes and internodes. Children, please remember, this is the most important point. It says that the root used to absorb the water and minerals, but the stem, okay, the stem helps in conduction of these water and minerals to the different parts of the body. The main function of the stem is to push this water upward to other parts of the plant. Please remember this line. So we can observe this by soaking the stem of a plant in a glass with water. So in order to prove the process of conduction by stem, we can do one activity. Here, what has to be done? The stem of the plant has to be soaked in water in a glass. On adding colored ink to the water, we will observe that after a while, the stem and the leaves of the plant starts to turn the color of the ink. which is proof that the stem carries the water to the different parts of the plant. Means if we will dip that stem, okay, the stem cutting in colored water, after some time we will find the streaks of color in the stem and the leaves, which confirms us that the stem used to conduct water and mineral. So the experiment helps us to demonstrate how stems are responsible for carrying water to different plant parts. Alright, so here you can see in this picture, children, the colored water is there, the stems, no, the stem without root, okay, the stems are there. So here if you can see this flower, you can see the colored no, streaks. So here you can see the leaf has become little red, the stem also it is becoming little red, because it is placed, the stem is placed in a red colored water, or you can consider it as orange color water. So you will find the same color streak on the leaf and the stem, which will confirm us that the stem performs the function of conduction in plant. So now let's discuss the most important part of the plant, that is leaf. The leaves of plants are majorly responsible for performing two essential functions for the plant's survival and growth. These are the functions called transpiration and photosynthesis. So please remember, leaves, no, they play a vital role in performing the functions like transpiration and photosynthesis. So before we discuss the different, the different parts or different functions of the leaf, let's discuss the different parts of a leaf. So children, this is the drawing which is very much important from examination point of view. Here you can see this is petiole, these are veins, this is the margin, and this is the prominent line is the midrib, and the broad part is lamina. So we have discussed in the live classes also. So let us read the function of different parts. Petiole, this is the stalk. Okay, petiole is what? This is the stalk via which the leaf is joined to the plant. Then lamina, this is the expanded part of the green portion of any leaf which is responsible for photosynthesis. We have discussed this is the lamina part, means the broad green part. Next, the veins. Veins, you can see the many lines that run through the surface of the leaf. These are the small lines, okay, which runs these are the small lines that run through the surface of the leaf and are called veins, and the design made by them is called leaf venetian. So you know, these veins also make a different design on the leaf, okay, and that is the reason why it is called, that is the reason why the design made by the veins are called the leaf venetian. So they transport water and minerals. The main function of the veins are to transport water and minerals. Now next part is midrib. So this is the central prominent thick structure right in the middle of the leaf that helps support the leaf and prevent it from breaking. So what is the most important work of midrib? Midrib is nothing but the prominent line which is present at the center. You can see this is the midrib, okay, this is the midrib, and it is at the center, and most important function of midrib is to support the leaf and prevent it from breaking. I hope this is clear, students. This is very much important, okay, please remember these. Next, let's discuss about the different functions of leaves, means the different processes which the leaf used to perform. So first is transpiration. So children, the transpiration activity we have done before. So what is transpiration? Transpiration is the process through which plant releases the excess amount of water in the air. When the water travels via the stem to the leaves, some of it gets used up to prepare food, while the excess water is converted to water vapor due to the presence of sunlight. Transpiration is important for the plants as it helps the plants to cool down. In the absence of transpiration, the temperature of the leaf becomes unregulated, which may lead to the eventual death of the plant. So what it is saying, that transpiration is very much important for the plant, because it is nothing but the releasing or oozing out of the excess of water from the plant's body in the form of vapor. So we can observe transpiration by enclosing a leafy part of the plant in a closed polythene bag and keeping it in the sun. So children, I think this activity I have done already for you. So here what we have to do, we have to enclose a leaf, okay, a leaf in a closed polythene bag, and then we have to keep it in the sun. Then afterwards we have to observe. So we'll find some kind of droplets. After a while we see tiny droplets of water on the inside of the polythene bags, which are the proof that the leaves have performed transpiration. So I hope you understood this. Okay. So you can see, children, here is the process of transpiration occurring. This is the diagram. So transpiration, evaporation of water from the leaves. Okay, the water get evaporated. So water evaporation is happening. So water absorbed by the root. The root used to absorb the water, and then by this capillary action, okay, this stem, they used to conduct the water to the different part, and then excess amount, that water is utilized for preparing the food, and the excess amount of water is oozed out or released out in the form of water vapor. So transpiration stream is movement of water through the plants. Now the next important process which is performed by the plant is photosynthesis. So I think this word is very common for you all. It's nothing but the method of food preparation by the plant. So photosynthesis is defined as the process that helps leaves prepare food for the plant with the help of carbon dioxide and water. Photosynthesis occurs in the presence of sun and is aided by the presence of green pigment in leaves called chlorophyll. Plants also release oxygen in the process. The food prepared is stored in the various part of the plant. In absence of photosynthesis, the plant is unable to utilize the water and minerals to prepare food for its nourishment and gradually dies. So photosynthesis is the process by which the green plants prepare their own food with the help of water and carbon dioxide, and in presence of sunlight, which is get trapped by the green pigment, that is chlorophyll. I think it is clear. So children, let me tell you one thing. After preparing the food, the plant, they used to store the food in the different parts. Okay. Now we need to understand, we need to know the presence, we need to know about the presence of starch in leaves. Okay. So how to find out the presence of starch in leaves, means the food of the plant. So in order to see if leaves really to perform photosynthesis, we take a leaf and immerse it in a test tube filled with spirit. So you can see here in this drawing, okay, here in the drawing you can see the leaf is being boiled first in water, okay, and then we take a leaf and immerse it in a test tube filled with spirit. So you can see here, this is the test tube and this is the leaf which is kept inside, and the test tube is filled up with the spirit that is called ethanol. Then placing this test tube in a beaker filled with water, we heat the beaker. So what we used to do, we used to place that leaf along with the test tube, and then we used to heat. We have to heat that. After, the leaf loses its color. So once it is heated in ethanol and water, the leaf will become discolored, means it decolorizes. The green color, it is no more there. After the leaf loses its color, we wash it and pour iodine solution on it. So next step, what we used to do, we have to take that leaf, we need to wash it, and then we will pour some iodine solution to it. And as can be seen, which shows the presence of starch, thus disproving our doubt. And then we will find that the leaf will change the color and it becomes bluish black. So this confirms the presence of starch in a leaf. So children, somewhere we have discussed about the different types of venation in leaves. Okay. So as I told you, different plants, they bear different types of different parts like leaves, flowers, fruits. So basically the design which is made by the veins on the surface of the leaf is called leaf venation. And we find different types of venation in different types of leaves. So here if you can see properly in this drawing, you can see very well that the veins have made two different designs. These are the reticulate venation and these are parallel venation. You can see it's making a net-like structure. The veins are making net-like structure. Here the veins are parallelly arranged. So depending on this design, the venation is also the plant, they have two different types of venation, that is parallel venation and reticulate venation. So we distinguish between two major types of leaf venation. Number one is reticulate venation. So reticulate venation is said to exist when the veins form a net-like shape on either side of the midrib. Just now I told you it makes a net-like structure. This type of venation is seen to exist in dicot like guava and mango. So reticulate venation we get in guava and mango. Next is parallel venation. So parallel venation is said to exist when the veins run parallel to one another. This type of venation is seen to exist in monocot like banana, wheat, coconut. If you look carefully the leaves of these examples like wheat, coconut and banana, you will find the veins have arranged themselves in the parallel fashion. Okay, so that is called parallel venation. So children, with that we have come to the end of our class. So let's summarize once again. Today we discussed about herbs, shrubs and trees. We discussed about climbers and creepers, stem and its function, leaf its structure and function, and at the end we discussed about types of venation. So I hope you have understood that. So thank you so much for listening to me. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you all in the next class.